Hey everyone, Business Insider here, formerly Sloppy Stack on Twitter. Coming at you with a quick update. I already recorded quite a bit today, but I only just checked the news. Wizards put out a bit of an update on what they're planning to do with the next patch. It's pretty interesting. So the patch next week, I think it comes April 24th, is going to have Dominaria in it, which is huge. Well, not huge expected, but huge in the sense that it's finally some new cards to maybe break up the monotony of where the game's been at the past couple weeks. But they've also laid out a bit of a roadmap for where they're going with the game. So a week or two after that, they're going to start testing events, best of one constructed matches, and best of one draft matches. So I assume that means drafting with a queue system like we have for constructed now, but you don't get to play sideboarded games. So maybe it's something like what they do in Hearthstone, where you just have a certain number of losses you can give, and you're trying to accrue as many wins as you can get, and the prizes would scale to that. So they haven't tipped anything about what those events are going to cost, what the prizes are going to be like, or the structure at all. But it is exciting to hear that those are coming, because obviously that's going to have a big impact on the shape of the economy. The other big announcement that they're kind of teasing right now as a, not so much an announcement, but like a trial program, which is that for Dominaria in New Zealand only, they're putting codes into a bunch of product that can be redeemed online. So there's no details about what this means, but it's pretty surprising. I know people in the forums have said things like, oh, I'd really like it if I could, oh no, what are they going to take? Secret Squire? No, they can't do that. Anyways, people on the forums have said things like, I'd love it if I could, go to F&M, open packs, get codes that I can redeem online. I thought that there was no way they were going to do that, that they'd want to keep the two games, or two versions of the games, totally separate. But the fact that they're even testing this means that they are entertaining that idea. For me personally, I don't think that means that I'm going to be going out there and hitting up F&Ms and doing anything like that in real life. It's just, it hasn't really fit the way I want to play prior to this, and I don't imagine it, the fact that I can get some arena codes changing what I'd like to do in the future. But it does seem like it'll get people who maybe were like, fuck Magic Arena, I don't want to play that, I already pay for paper. You might get them to come try the game out, and I don't know if they'll necessarily spend more money, but it's a good way to keep people. Let's see how I want to do this next turn. I think I'll keep this. It's a good way to keep people kind of just interested in the game in general in all aspects. So I don't know what kind of data they're looking to collect. I'm guessing they just want to see what kind of redemption rate they get. I don't know if this means they're going to be opening up the beta to more people in that territory. Like maybe they're actually doing a soft launch there, where they're just allowing full-on New Zealand sign-ups in conjunction with this, because I have to imagine the cohort of players in there now, unless they know specifically that a bunch of them are in New Zealand and they've set this up beforehand, this seems like kind of a long shot that you'd have a significant enough number of people to make it worth your while. But all that I guess remains to be seen, right? So anyways, I'll kind of shift away from that now. It's a lot of exciting news, and focus on this game, and then wrap up the video. So let's see, while I was talking, I got into kind of a rough spot here. We'll see if Champion of Wits can get us out. Yeah, I'll have to look at the forums tomorrow and see how people are reacting and speculating to that. It could be used, if they do code redemption of some kind off real world product. It could be used as a way to justify a higher price point for oh man. I guess if I play into Essence Scatter here, it's not that bad, right? Yeah, just justify a higher price point for events, or for just for packs in general. Like I know people who are participating in the program right now, who are in the closed beta. Some of them think that packs are only going to be like 25 cents each, 50 cents each. I just cannot imagine that that will be the case. 2, 4, 6. But maybe, by giving those people some way to continue building their paper collections and simultaneously supplement their arena collections, it will assuage that feeling of like, oh man, well, why didn't they, I guess they just didn't want to counter the champion. Makes sense. This player, Prairie Dog, must be digging for their second blue source here. Oh, traditional blue-black control, I'm not exactly certain that they're on that here, though the deck, what we've seen kind of implies that this has really fallen off quite a bit in the recent months, or not months, I should say recent weeks. So let's see, let's try something like Reveal Tetsumak. Oh, target of a spell only. Okay. My bad, gotta read the card. I assumed this was like the Geist mechanic, Phantasm mechanic, where you just have it automatically dies. And I mean, if this is the case, I guess I'll just Tetsumak again. Pass turn. Yeah, so I know that there's not a lot of viewers right now, but anyone who is watching this stuff, I'd be interested to hear what you think about including codes. The economy in this game is something that interests me a lot. I work in real life in games, working on free-to-play games especially, so it's interesting to me to see how they're kind of trying to approach this and balance a game that traditionally, players have been conditioned, like you're going to spend hundreds of dollars building competitive decks just in standard. People who draft, the expectation is that you're probably spending $15 a week on drafts, right? Between the cost of the boosters and the entry fee to the event at your local store. So the play pattern of the game is really such that you expect to pay, right? You expect to spend, but that runs so contrary to the way that free-to-play economies work. For traditional free-to-play games, the expectation is that 4%, maybe 5%, 6%, if the game is really good, are spending, and everyone else is essentially a free rider. I mean, there's value in having a lot of free players, especially in games like this, to make sure that matchmaking is always smooth. There's always a critical mass of players, but it is interesting to take a game like this that has a really long history like that. Like Hearthstone, Eternal, all these games have had the advantage of they are starting from scratch. They get to create their game to be digital from the start. Let's just run this out and see if they have a counter for it. I'm assuming this is going to get Essence Scattered, but I'm just ripping lands here. Counter target creature spell. Alright, I have to just start doing this, I guess. I think they're going to let this through. I don't know why they would block this, but alright. Yeah, so I don't know what the numbers on Hearthstone are, or any of the other free-to-play card games are in particular. Maybe the percent of paying players is much higher than it is for like a traditional, like free-to-play mobile game, like a Clash Royale. But I would bet that they are not like, not like multiples higher. I don't think that a game like Hearthstone monetizes at like 20% of the player base, where a game like Clash of Clans monetizes at 4%. I really doubt that they outperform like that, especially considering that those games typically do not beat out like the battle strategy games in terms of earnings. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm just going to, well, here's what I'm going to do. Combat. Attack with Champion Wits. Get my damage in. Kill my own Champion of Wits. So here's where I wish I could stack the trigger, because for sure this player is sitting on like Moment of Craving, right? They're gonna want to shrink this. And oh no, take action. Awesome. And I get to explore. So I'm really interested to see what it all means. And obviously so much of this game, the long-term success of it is going to depend on those first few months and how successful they are at getting people in, making sure that all tiers of players, paying and non, are happy with how it's working out, happy with the experience. Anyways, enough on that. I'll definitely, they said there's going to be more economy changes coming in the next patch too, so I really want to look at that between real money and I don't want that. I do want that. I'm kind of tempted to final reward this Champion of Wits. And see how they respond. I mean, I guess the upside of letting them block with the Champion Wits and bring it back, this will create an opportunity for me to resolve multiple spells next turn, because they'll have to pretty much tap out to spend the 7 to eternalize it. But I want to deny them the cards and get a good attack. Cool. Yeah, I think what I'll do is take, definitely like kind of budget out some money. Real money spending in the closed beta is not going to be lost. You're going to get that money back when they do the wipe, not in cash but in premium currency. So I'll kind of try to figure out, once I see the packages, what I would plan to spend, whatever's reasonable, and then kind of portion that out over a couple weeks and kind of see what it would be like if I were like a player who was interested in this game to the tune of like $15 or $20 a week, and what that experience is like. Let's see if they have double Essence Scatter here. Wow, I just want to explore, man. Not even worth attacking. I keep forgetting to put this Arch of Orazka in my deck. I think everyone gets one. I for sure have one. And it would be great. Just a great source of just continued like grinding of value as these games drag on, especially against these counterspell decks. I should probably make a counterspell deck again. I mean, I have one. I should update it with my new cards. I haven't touched in a couple weeks, and maybe kind of just switch it up from this deck. Yikes. give it one more draw and probably scoop. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to beat this. But if I rip into like a Nissa or a Chupacabra, oh, this is good. Well, they still leave up 2, so they could have, what, they've only played 2 Essence Scatters, 3? 2. And they have enough to Hornswoggle again with their treasure. Not great. This is just not good because the Nezahal, they'll get to draw off the Nezahal. Discard. Yeah, one more draw step. But this is looking like a loss at this point. Field of Ruin. This is why we gift up the basics, even though there's no non-basics in play right now. I guess they can't really send with the Nezahal, 'cause I can triple block, but I feel like they just have so much. They must have so much from counterspell magic in hand. All right, 2 explorers. Land. Branchwalker. This Contempt, I mean, this player most likely has Scarab God in their deck, or Planeswalkers, so this Rashka's Contempt will be useful. Okay. Alright, well, for the sake of time on this video, I'm going to cut it here because this is going to be boring. So, anyways, thanks for listening to the update and watching a very boring game. But I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. Maybe I'll experiment with blue-black. Alright, thanks everyone.